Hello everyone, welcome to the new episode of Professionals Unplugged. I am your host Utkarsh Shukla and let me introduce you to my guest Gatha. Gatha, thank you so much for joining in.
Hi, Utkarsh, and those who will be watching this video. Great to meet you all, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much Gatha. So let's begin with our very basic question. So again, you can introduce our audience about yourself, like your work, your professional, anything you want to talk about yourself or anything you want the world to know about yourself.
So, firstly, I lead research at Sentius Inc. I am responsible for development of AI applications and also letting people know that what can go wrong with AI once you have productionized it. So, my work is design development, and definitely being the messenger who tells that, okay, there could be some problems with your system. Apart from that, I also write technical blogs. I love breaking down concepts, complex concepts, and trying to simplify them as much as possible. The intent is, apart from disseminating that understanding, it is also about helping people understand the associated risks, associated opportunities, because definitely AI is there in all our lives, it's in all aspects. But to better appreciate how well I can or you can leverage it in our daily lives. So, basic understanding that, okay, what it is about. I'm hearing so much about deepfakes. Should I be scared about it? Should I not be scared about it? So, all these concepts, I try to break them down, simplify for my audience.
That's pretty awesome. I think so. You are working in the AI research field, right? I have a lot of questions regarding the same, so I will drop few to them to you. Okay. So first question I would like to ask you is like after Microsoft, Meta, these companies have given their model as an open source, like so you can now use them for your own research purposes. So do you think there is a risk of leaking your data because if you are providing your data set or your sensitive data to this model to get the result. So, do you think there is a kind of a risk where there can be a leakage in the future, or there is some kind of a security threat to it?
Yes. So, you must have also seen the news. When models are trained, they need training data.
Right.
And you're using ChatGPT and similar services. They are driven by very powerful models. Why are they powerful? Because they have been trained on massive data set that was scraped from the internet. So the nuances of the language, how humans talk, whether it's English or any other language. So how the sentences are formed, how they are completed. So these models, they learn from this massive corpus of language. For instance, if I say I had a delicious dash, I want the model to finish it. So the model, it has gone through so much of understanding of the language that it would know that I mean food. I do not mean dog or cloth or anything else. So the model, it has understood the nuances of the language and how to form new sentences. This is where we are calling it generative AI. So coming back to the risk, definitely if you are using services, then you are inputting certain queries and you're also speaking in a certain style. So these data, they are definitely used to refine the models. Apart from that, the models underlying these services, they are retrained. So you must have seen that GPT, it was retrained in November. So there was summer and then the November one. So definitely there was some feedback from the users that, okay, I'm not able to do my mathematical computations that well. While writing is good and also reasoning is missing a bit. And definitely some answers, they were on the fine line of ethical compliance. So all these considerations, so these model builders, they see that, okay, what needs to be done in the next retraining cycle. And again, when we're talking about retraining, it's about getting more recent data from the internet, from how you had interacted with the service. So when you are signing up for any service, especially services that leverage models, be aware that whatever you're inputting, it would be read and it would be collected. There are always disclaimers there. Interestingly, new regulations are being, they would come up and they would actually accommodate that whether the users, end users, how they should be informed that, okay, whatever you're inputting, your data, that would be used to refine models. So now regulations are shifting more towards these new services because again, it's a new world. It's a very exciting world. And all of us from different domains, we are using these services.
Correct.
So definitely, while we are using it, we are also helping refine them. So it's again, you can say a give and take. You want better services, you want more accurate models in future, but you are also sharing your data.
Somehow there is a risk of your data being getting used to answer someone else's questions as well, right?
Yes, yes. So there are provisions for this.
Hmm.
We can definitely use different architectures. There is RAG, which
Yeah.
helps you keep your data private to your organization. So definitely design patterns and architectures are in place. They are heavily researched based on the problem at hand and based on what kind of data we are dealing with. And again, we're not just talking about text here. We're talking about videos, audios, images. So definitely research is on it is and there are provisions in place in case you want to keep your organizational data, your own documents private and yet use these models. So these provisions are there.
That's awesome. So you need to be aware of the documentation and how to use it. You need to form the architecture in such a way that you are aware that what are the threats that can happen to you, and then you can work accordingly on the product or whatever thing you need to
Absolutely.
work.
Absolutely. In fact, if we are talking about enterprise solutions, then definitely many companies, including my organization, this is what we offer. We offer privacy controls and access controls. That even among a organization, there are certain departments. One department should not be able to view the documents of the other. So this is where the businesses they can leverage the services provided by organizations.
Perfect. So any story you like to share from your experience till now? Anything, any personal or professional story that you like to share?
Okay, personal story. I would like to share my story because I think only some of my colleagues know this. I recently finished my PhD, and prior to that, I was in IT industry. I was a developer, then lead. So I have done the whole stretch of being part of the IT industry, being an engineer, and then I became a mother in pre-COVID era. So when I talk about pre-COVID era, remote work was hardly heard of. Hybrid work settings were not heard of either. And I was in a nuclear setup. So having a newborn and not much of support. So unfortunately, this could be a big stumbling block for women who are in demanding industries. I'm not just talking about IT, but other domains as well. So I still closely feel about issues where women need to accommodate the needs of their family and loved ones more. So pre-COVID era, and I did not want to go back to the whole demanding scenario again. So I started my PhD. So I had a small kid. I did my PhD while raising him. So it was another learning experience for me. That definitely it pushed my limits because PhDs again they are quite demanding, and it also requires a shift in your mindset. That you have to now think of problems in a different mindset, and there's also a lot of writing and speaking involved. So I leveraged that time when my kid was small. I did my PhD. I reinvented what I wanted to do. So now I'm a researcher. I've definitely felt that I have grown in that aspect, being able to view problems in that perspective. And definitely, I started to write during that time. And again, I think during the COVID time. So this is when I started technical blogging. And till date, I have 3,600 followers on Medium. And you might also read my articles on LinkedIn. And that's how I'm connecting with awesome people like yourself. So this has been my journey. And I saw a very common response from people that, okay, now why are you doing PhD? You're in your 30s and you're doing a PhD. So I say that you would turn 40 one day, right? You would turn 40 anyways. You will turn 50 anyways. But what do you want to do and how do you want to turn 40 or 50 in future? I could turn 40 as Gatha Varma or as Dr. Gatha Varma. So this thing, it made me realize that we grow with a certain agenda, with certain timelines in our heads. By 25, I have to be this. By 30, I have to achieve this position. By 40, I should be called this XX and this role and title. So we have this picture in my mind that creates a lot of pressure. We are not kind to ourselves, and definitely we are in this whole struggle to balance our needs, our wants, our loved ones, how they need us. So definitely there is no timeline, and there is no fixed agenda in life. So keep discovering yourself, keep reinventing yourselves, and I can assure you, you'll be a much happier person if you follow that path.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You need to be open to reinventing yourself, right? Like as you mentioned, once you become a mother, so there can be many people who thought that all the doors, sorry for the voice, all the doors around them are closed, right? Because people generally see in a one direction, right? They just born to what the past role is assigned to them. But you need to be open to the new opportunity, as you have mentioned. You thought that PhD can be a better option, and where you can take care of your family, your kids. At the same time, you can pursue the career or the jobs that you love to do. And now you're doing the same, right? And I can say it like you are successful on what you're doing right now, like seeing like you are very good at Medium on writing blogs and having a lot of followers there, and still pursuing your PhD, and not having the goals set to a certain age limit, open to having a goal at a particular I think where you see yourself, and the vision. Having a vision is pretty important rather than setting a goal for a particular time period. I think that's the main takeaway that I can get from your story right now. To be open to opportunity and to always know there is an option available when you think there is no option available, right? So I think that's the
Absolutely.
thing to have.
Yeah.
And so I think I've asked you two questions, and third one is about your dream. So I think you've already mentioned
Yes.
the PhD and other things. So any dream that you like to share with us?
So it would sound very, nice on paper, but I am a firm believer of AI for good. So definitely AI is helping businesses, and definitely if you look at the broader level, businesses, if they do well, they definitely add to the country's growth. So the business aspect is very nice, but I believe that certain demographies, they are at the fringe, they need more help. So AI definitely that can help the growth of these overlooked demographies. So yesterday I was on a panel and we were talking about adoption of cloud services in public sector. So there is whole talk about accessibility, that now everyone almost has phone, and I'm sure even people in rural areas, they have heard about ChatGPT thanks to memes and videos. They have at least heard about it. So one thing about accessibility is that now technology is no longer tightly coupled with literacy. We are no longer limited to text, right? You need not know English to avail a certain service. You can use your voice, you can use your video. So this part really excites me, that how AI is growing. You have generative AI which can handle data of different types, and definitely internet is also good and hardware that supports it. So bringing forward services to people who were earlier not exposed to this. So a very good thought, and definitely something very exciting. But coming to the part where accessibility is there, but how is it benefiting people? For instance, let's take the example of girls, especially again in rural areas, or the urban areas, the overlooked urban areas, where girls who hit puberty, they have to drop out of schools. This is, I think, a very common problem. And imagine those girls and the potential that they have. So mixing in healthcare and social welfare and edtech, these three domains, they are leveraging AI pretty well. We have so many platforms available. But to combine these three domains and to see this particular cause of girls who are dropping out, and how can they be educated about the changes they are seeing in their bodies, because definitely where they're coming from, the information is still less, it is still taboo. So definitely educating them and also letting them know again about the opportunities. So as I said that, okay, know what you're capable of and work towards it. While I'm literate, I'm sitting in a very privileged place. I had the option to pursue my wants. But these girls who are coming with limited options and limited information, I think AI again, it can be very instrumental for them. Again, third thing that again it's my dream also, and I'm quite involved with this, is again the aspect of data privacy and fairness. Being a woman of color, also, if I look at myself from the global level, I might be at the receiving edge of bias and fairness when we are talking about AI services. So definitely, I have been vocal about it as well. That your algorithms and your models, they have to be all accommodating, and they should definitely view people and their data very responsibly. So when I'm talking about our data, you and I, we are very technologically advanced. We are advanced, and we are conscious, and we are signing off privacy policies. At least we know what's being said and what we are signing off. But then again, there are demographies, they are availing services, but they may not be aware of what they're signing off. So children, they are using their tablets and computers, and they are getting onto some part of social media. They are using Zoom and Meet for their online classes. Then there are elderly and less literate people. So again, these demographies, they are also sharing their data. They are also sharing, they are being profiled. So bringing that knowledge to these demographies again is something that I'm passionate about.
That's really awesome. So you have covered, I think, everything that can be done greatly through the use of AI and technology. That's pretty awesome of you. Amazing to listen to this. So I have one more question regarding to your profile as well. So there is a lot of confusion in the industry between researcher, data scientist, and data engineer. Although data scientist versus data engineer is somehow clear these days, but what about researcher versus data scientist? So is there uh, anything that you would like to share with us on the same, or would you like to take away the confusion?
Sure. Sure. So, as the scientist and as leading research teams, definitely part of my work is understanding the nerve of the industry. That what is new, what's happening. Okay, these kind of models, these are new. We should look into their application. So this is the part as the scientist that I guide my team about the new technologies that I'm seeing and how to leverage them. Or for instance, something simple like issues that are being researched on, and definitely research papers are there, articles are there, and new products are coming in, like Lumiere is out. Okay, let's see how it works, how we can incorporate into our offerings. So that is the part that I do as a data scientist. Now, when we're talking about researchers, so as researcher, you identify certain problems. For instance, if you're talking about transparent AI models, this is a statement, but again, a lot of research is being done to gain transparency, to give transparency to AI models. So again, these are different, you can say, disciplines when we're talking about explainable AI interpretability. So as researcher, you identify a problem, you see what has already been done, and then the third part is how you can view this problem and suggest solutions for it. So while publications are the main output, and you can also publish your libraries, but being able to appreciate the problem, appreciate what has been proposed, and where it could be enhanced or where it lacked. So this is the mindset that a researcher has.
I think that's pretty much clear my thought on how a researcher can be more towards problem solving and finding solution to existing problems, right? But scientist is someone who is working on a particular problem only, right? And not researching, not publishing things, or they can publish things, but more driven towards one domain, while researcher can be open to many, right?
Yes. You can say scientists are more oriented towards application of the technology. So definitely the part of weighing which solution works better. Okay, this research was better and more scalable, and okay, definitely we can stand to gain in longer term. So as scientist, this is what my views are. And as a researcher, I see that okay, the solution is there, but what more can be done? How it can be further enhanced?
Pretty awesome. So I think that's pretty much clear it out. So thank you so much, Gatha, for joining in. It was really an amazing experience speaking to you. We have learned a lot from you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Utkarsh. It was great talking with you.